Hi there, my name is Trina from www.themoontree.org.
Themoontree.org. Intuitive living for a magical life.
Today we're going to be talking about health traits that are common within certain signs. Now, we're not going to focus on your sun sign, which you're used to looking at the newspaper and all that. What I want you to do is go to astro.com, fill in the information under free horoscopes, and find out your moon sign. That's going to be more relevant in health medical astrology than your sun sign. All right, so press pause on this video, go do that, find out your moon sign, and come back to here. Okay, so now we're going to start with moon in Aries. Aries is a fire sign. It makes things hot, it makes things dry. So for many people with the moon in Aries, we get the dry mucous membranes, we get the dry cough, we get the itchy skin, the itchy scalp, and as well as we can get headaches quite often with our moon in Aries. And insomnia can happen too. Sometimes we have lack of ovulation, which can cause fertility issues in some. And we get these muscle spasms, so we can, jolt and wake up in the night due to those, Charlie horses or muscle spasms in the leg, for example. So, moon in Aries, how do you fix those issues? Well, you need a little more water in your life, some lubricant to sort of bring some moisture to this dry Aries environment. And here's where I go into a little bit of the Chinese astrology, where water element foods are things that are sort of blue and black. For example, blueberries, blackberries, sea vegetables. Lots of Japanese foods can help too, like miso and tamari and seaweed type things, eating sushi, for example. And also making sure that you get enough minerals in your diet as well, which everybody should do. And water-rich foods like cucumbers, watermelon, that kind of thing too, can help to alleviate that fire, hot, dry, if you have these symptoms. Do you have your moon in Taurus? Well, if you do, you could experience weight gain due to emotional eating, or maybe a sweet tooth or addictive eating, that kind of thing. See, Taurus is an earth sign, and earth is sort of, can be prone in some cases, especially Taurus, who loves the sensations of the taste. So another thing too is that you could have excess mucus in the ears, the nose, and the throat. Taurus actually rules the throat. So that could be, maybe you're not expressing yourself enough, or speaking your true feelings, or you are shy to sing, even though Taurus rules the throat. And many famous singers are Taurus moon, for example. And so I would focus a lot on the throat chakra healing. Just Google throat chakra healing, YouTube it, and see what you can find to help with the mucus in the throat sort of area as well for you. And you could have some eye problems as well. I know a lot of Taurus people need glasses, for example. If you're experiencing excess mucus, a lot of times that is from gluten and dairy. And because Taurus is really related to what we eat, this is especially important for you to watch. Do you have a gluten allergy? Do you have a dairy allergy? Try not eating gluten and dairy for a whole 4 weeks and see if it makes a difference. It's a good test. It may remove all the mucus, especially, and as well as it will likely relieve many overweight issues as well. A lot of it is swollenness too, because of the gluten and because of the dairy too. Now for the eye problems, I would suggest doing special exercises you can find on YouTube, like with your eyes, to stretch out the muscles and make them work better. Taurus, you could also get your vitamin A checked. levels checked by a natural health doctor, for example, and see, are they up to par? A lot of times when we eat the gluten and we eat the dairy, it blocks the absorption of certain nutrients, and vitamin A is definitely important to eye health. It would be a good thing for you to look into. Do you have your moon in Gemini? Well, if you do, you could be susceptible to sort of mood swings, low mood, stress, anxiety, and nervousness. You could have problems in the shoulders and some nerve issues, particularly in the arms and the upper limbs, the upper half of your body, so to speak. There's lung issues sometimes too, due to dampness. Some people are more susceptible to pneumonia, for example. If you have your moon in Gemini, perhaps more susceptible to air sort of lung issue viruses like COVID, for example. But there's this nervous digestion. Gemini, that sign has a lot of like nervous tendencies. And sometimes you get nervous diarrhea, for example, or irritable bowel syndrome, that kind of thing due to this sort of kind of, I don't know how to explain. It's like a nervous digestion. And because Mercury rules the Gemini, lots in the mind. Lots of it is in your mind. You can control a lot of your health symptoms by a mindset reset. So things like subliminal messages on YouTube or self-hypnosis for health on YouTube. Relaxing meditations, for example. Things like that can really, really help you even more than food per se, like a Taurus. Like I just did the Taurus one, and that has a lot to do with food. But for you, it's a lot about the mind and reducing the anxiety and the stress that occurs there. And then it'll filter down, the nice calmness and serenity can filter down to your cells in the body to alleviate these symptoms of the moon in Gemini. If you have your moon in Cancer, well, then you really are sensitive to your environment, other people's moods, the weather, that kind of thing, external changes. The changing seasons affect you. The lunar cycle affects you. And so you can get a nervous stomach, for example. You could get allergies with the moon in Cancer. Many moon in Cancer people have fibroids. And also painful breasts during PMS, which is my big one. I have my moon in Cancer, by the way, and that's one of my big ones, is painful breasts during PMS, as well as a tendency to fall ill or suffer in response to these external changes we talked about, the weather, other people's feelings, the changing seasons, and the lunar cycle. So Cancer, or moons in Cancer, I should say, how do you deal with these certain medical traits? Part of it is washing away the energies that you accumulate during the day from your environment. For example, taking nice, relaxing hot baths in Epsom salts, laying down, relax, reading a book, having no one bother you, and just forgetting about everybody's problems for a bit. The thing with Cancer and the Cancer moon, I should say, is that you're so used to nurturing other people that you forget, or we forget, because I'm a Cancer moon, we forget to nurture ourselves. And then that's when the illness comes. Doing grounding exercises is a good thing too. Yoga, grounding, yoga. You could do yoga, you could do walking barefoot in the grass. You could go for a nice swim or aqua aerobics, as well as sharing your emotions, sharing your feelings with a trusted friend. I know for a Cancer moon too, it's important to ground ourselves and ground all that excess energy of the world somewhere. And so food can be useful to you with the Cancer moon, especially root vegetables, red root vegetables, beets, red potatoes, red onions. That can really help as well. And adding more garlic to your diet will help. Do you have your moon in Leo? Well, you might have some skeletal issues in the back. poor posture, for example, or something like that. So one of the quick ways to cure yourself, Leo, of those ailments is recognize your posture. Be aware of your posture. Stand straight and proud like the Leo moon that you are. We may see some dehydration issues because Leo is a fire sign, and that's hot and can dry you out, and you can get dehydrated more quickly than other signs in the moon. So dry skin, weak digestive secretions as a result of dehydration. So I would suggest Leo moons to look into Anthony Williams' Celery Juicing by Anthony Williams, the medical medium. Very enlightening, very life-changing, and will help you a lot. Moon and Leo can see fertility issues as well. So on top of all that, I would suggest orange stones, especially carnelian. Carnelian will help to alleviate some of that stuff as well. And don't forget to drink lots of filtered water. And when I say filtered, I mean preferably no chlorine and preferably no fluoride. I don't suggest getting the distilled water because then all the minerals are gone. So try and filter your water out of the chlorine and the lead and the fluoride, and you'll have much better water to drink to keep you hydrated, Leo, moon and Leo. Do you have your moon in Virgo? Well, if so, you are probably susceptible to allergies as well as irritable bowel syndrome. You could have leaky gut. You could have poor digestion due to poor bile secretions, poor enzyme creation, that kind of thing. I would suggest looking into aloe vera juice, celery juicing by Anthony Williams, the medical medium. Celery juicing can help with all that digestive stuff. And looking into a nice probiotic plan, the fresh probiotic that you find in the refrigerator section of your health food store. Leaky gut is caused by little holes in our digestive system. And so after we digest food, little particles of food go into the blood, and the blood gets upset. Oh no, intruder alert. And that can cause those allergies, that eczema, and the irritable bowel as well. So I do think that a big part of irritable bowel syndrome and that kind of stuff has to do with dairy and gluten. I would suggest avoiding dairy and gluten for a whole month and seeing the results and seeing if it works for you. Now, do you have the moon in Libra? Well, if you do, you probably could encounter some kidney problems, and that can in turn have some fluid imbalances in the body, and so you also could encounter dizzy spells and endocrine disorders as well as headaches if you have your moon in Libra. I would try shiitake mushrooms, Libra, moon in Libra, seaweed, pumpkin, and walnuts. Those can definitely help. You'll also want to make sure your minerals are up to par there. Make sure you have all the minerals that you need. And you could also focus on some fish, some pumpkin, some blueberries and blackberries to help offset those symptoms. Do you have your moon in Leo? Well, you might have some skeletal issues in the back. Poor posture, for example, or something like that. So one of the quick ways to cure yourself, Leo, of those ailments is recognize your posture. Be aware of your posture. Stand straight and proud like the Leo moon that you are. We may see some dehydration issues because Leo is a fire sign, and that's hot and can dry you out, and you can get dehydrated more quickly than other signs in the moon. So dry skin, weak digestive secretions as a result of dehydration. So I would suggest Leo moons to look into Anthony Williams' Celery Juicing by Anthony Williams, the medical medium. Very enlightening, very life-changing, and will help you a lot. Moon in Leo can see fertility issues as well. So on top of all that, I would suggest orange stones, especially carnelian. Carnelian will help to alleviate some of that stuff as well. And don't forget to drink lots of filtered water. And when I say filtered, I mean preferably no chlorine and preferably no fluoride. I don't suggest getting the distilled water because then all the minerals are gone. So try and filter your water out of the chlorine and the lead and the fluoride, and you'll have much better water to drink to keep you hydrated, Leo, Moon in Leo. Do you have the Moon in Scorpio? Well, if you do, you may have bladder issues, maybe incontinence, maybe some other issues like candida, yeast infections, fungal infections. You may have some nasal congestion and you might get runny noses or watery, runny kind of nose. You may have excessive sweating. Fibroids can happen with the Moon in Scorpio, and so can hemorrhoids. Now, a lot of this is because you are a water sign, Scorpio, and waters rule, those kind of things. So I would suggest the herb horsetail as well as green tea. Boost up your green tea intake. It'll help with that. I would also recommend eliminating sugar as much as possible. And I mean the human sugar. Like a little bit of honey that hasn't been pasteurized is still okay because it has the special stuff still in it, right? The healing honey that hasn't been pasteurized, for example. That's okay, a little amounts. And fruit sugars are okay. I'm talking about like regular sugar in everyday foods, that's going to create candida, yeast infections, fungal infections, and infections in the bladder, for example. Sugar is a big... if you can really try and eliminate the sugar, you'll be much better off with your Moon in Scorpio. As well as coconut oil. Start using more coconut oil in your salads, for example, or cooking with it, for example. And garlic is a very good one to prevent those fungal growths as well with your Moon in Scorpio. Ginger can help with that as well. So adding more garlic and ginger into your life. Another thing with your Moon in Scorpio, with that bladder problem thing, on an energetic level, that comes from holding on to old ideas, the fear of letting go. And so you might want to do some meditations about letting go. I comfortably and easily release the old and welcome the new in my life. I am safe. Rose quartz can also help you, Scorpio or Moon in Scorpio, because a lot of your problems come from the fear of letting go in a relationship, like fear of just being and that kind of releasing, kind of happier, lighter feeling that you need. So rose quartz can help because that's in the heart chakra. Helps you to love yourself, helps you to love other people, and helps you to thrive. Do you have your Moon in Sagittarius? Well, you might suffer from periods of insomnia, sleep stuff, okay? You might have swelling or maybe even cysts in your thighs and your hips. There's a tendency toward emotional instability as well. Valerian tea can help you through this, and meditation can help too. See, a lot of your medical problems, Sagittarius, part of it is because you're a fire sign. So there's a little bit of the inflammation, fiery hotness, we'll say, that could be cooled down with some water, foods like seaweed, tamari. Lots of Asian foods would help you, Sagittarius. Even, shiitake mushrooms, blueberries, blackberries, black grapes, that kind of thing. But it's important for you to meditate and create this inner stillness so that you don't have that emotional instability. Insomnia is caused by the feeling of fear, not trusting the process of life. And sometimes there can be a little bit of guilt associated with that too. So you could say to yourself, I lovingly release the day and slip into a peaceful sleep, knowing that tomorrow will keep care of itself. And Sagittarius moon, I think another wonderful thing for you would be to get a massage, a professional massage. I think that you would quite enjoy that and your body will love you for it. You have your moon in Capricorn. Well, Capricorn, there is a lot of issues related to the sacral chakra, the ones in your reproductive area. So you could have period problems, endometriosis, fibroids, fertility issues, for example. And this is likely because the sign of Capricorn loves to work. Work, and sometimes forgets to relax, play, and enjoy life just for the fact of enjoying life and not having the need to achieve. So first of all, it starts in your mind with that moon in Capricorn, but you recognize that there needs to be a balance. Yes, work is important for you, and yes, that brings you value, but there are other values to be attained in life as well, and relaxing is important in order to see the world from a different point of view. When we can relax and enjoy life and be creative and, just chill, then you'll notice your period problems going away. Then your, endometriosis can be relieved, that kind of thing. So with your moon in Capricorn, some sacral chakra foods to induce creativity and the joy of life itself, not having to do with work, is orange. Orange foods will help you. Anything orange that's healthy will help you. Even orange tea, orange essential oils, and carnelian would be nice for you as well. Another thing with the moon in Capricorn is a bit of this problems with the acidity levels, the HCl sort of thing, in the hydrochloric acid in your stomach. It's almost a lack of it. I do think celery juicing by the medical medium, Anthony Williams' name, you can find it, celery juicing, just Google it. It will help you to reestablish that acid, the right balance of acid in your stomach to digest food. It'll help you about the dry mucous membranes across the body. It'll help you with those dry, stiff joints that you encounter and those inflamed joints as well. And if you focus too on a lot of sort of what I call the water foods in Chinese astrology, which are black or blue foods like blueberries, blackberries, black sesame, walnuts, that kind of thing, seaweed, even some black tea or sweet bean sauce, for example. So thinking Asian foods would be a good, to add some more Asian foods, for example, to your diet, that kind of stuff. It's going to help you with all the dry Capricorn sort of symptoms, that eczema, that itching, that dryness. However, a lot of that does come from malabsorption of the nutrients in your small intestine. Avoid gluten, although if you have your moon in Capricorn, you already know that, don't you? And you could also even take it a step further and avoid dairy, as you have your moon in Aquarius. Well, if you do, you're a lot like the moon in Gemini, where there was a lot of the susceptibility to the stress, tension, anxiety, low mood. It's all in the head sort of thing. Working with your stress, working with your anxiety, having a place to put your thoughts, so to speak. So writing them on paper would be a very good start to alleviate that excess energy in the Aquarius brain. You could also have some poor circulation. Maybe you get the pins and needles quite often in the feet, and when you get the pricks and pricklies and it's like, ow, that kind of thing. It can happen with poor circulation. Exercise, definitely, to get the blood going, blood moving, that kind of thing would be good. A little more spicy foods once in a while to get it hot, a little hotter, a little thinner blood, so to speak. You might have some weak ankles or Achilles tendon issues. I would just focus on doing like ankle exercises, stretch it out, lots of stretching, especially in those things. You might have just like fluctuating energy levels, and you might even faint or have fainting spells or almost fainting. And then these fatigue, it's very up and down with the energy levels with your moon in Aquarius sometimes. And sometimes it's because of low blood pressure, and that, you could add a little more fire element foods to your diet. in Chinese astrology, we call that the red bitter sort of foods for fire. It helps with the circulation, which I find the moon in Aquarius needs more of. So here's some suggestions. Strawberries, chilies, dragon fruit, red pepper, red beans, carrots, and tomato. So, and sweet potato. Those are all easy. Oh, and there's one more. I don't know if I said this already. Dragon fruit and goji berry are also kind of the more foreign or international sort of things that aren't readily available all the time here, at least in Canada. But definitely those kind of things to help that brain and help the circulatory system for you with the moon in Aquarius. Do you have your moon in Pisces? Well, some of the medical issues you could encounter is the swollen lymph nodes. And so for you Pisces, a lot about puffiness too, puffiness in the ankles, swollen feet. So, you know, as a Pisces, you're a water sign and you absorb the energies of the world. And so anytime you have this excess puffiness or swollenness, lots of times it's a result of water bloat, for example. And what I mean is, you're not drinking enough water. So the body overcompensates and tries to save every single little drop in the body. So look at your urine, Pisces, or moon in Pisces. Does it look light and just a tiny, tiny bit yellow? Or is it like super dense yellow and you can tell it's a little thicker urine, so to speak? Well, then you'll know right from then is that you need to drink some more water. And I suggest that you drink the filtered water, filtered of lead and filtered of chlorine and filtered of fluoride. But that still keeps those minerals that you definitely need. Pisces, you can encounter weight gain, even though you're like, dude, I haven't even eaten much. Like, why am I encountering weight gain? Well, look at, are you drinking alcohol? Alcohol is especially, how do I say it? Strong for the Pisces person, the Pisces moon person. You know, you could have like one glass of something and you'll notice a bloat or, you know, like it's very, so try this try like not drinking for a month and seeing what happens. Maybe you'll notice a humongous difference in your low mood, your fatigue, your heavy periods as well, you know, and your lung problems. So try that out first. Before you do anything, try eliminating alcohol. And if you don't drink alcohol and you're still having the swollen lymph nodes and the puffy ankles, make sure that you're getting the recommended amount of water. And it is much more than we think. You know, I had to get one of those apps that makes me grow a plant. It's called Plant Nanny app. And then you just put in your information and it tells you how much you have to drink. And every time you drink a glass of water, it feeds your plant and it's happier and happier. But when you don't drink, the plant goes like this. I'm so thirsty, you know, and things like that can help you to, can help you with these swollen sort of things. Another thing with the moon in Pisces, with those lymph node problems, that's a warning that the mind needs to be recentered on the essentials of life, which is love and joy. I am now totally centered in the love and joy of being alive. I flow with life. Peace of mind is mine. So thank you for watching. And of course, you know, I said that these are for the moon signs, but check out your sun sign too, and your ascendant sign too, clip, and see if you can see some patterns perhaps in your medical astrology horoscope. I hope this helps. And if you'd like your own personal intuitive reading or energy healing tools, please visit me on my website, www.themoontree.org, helping you navigate life's energies. And don't forget to watch all the other videos that I put out, the daily or the weekly forecasts, the monthly forecasts, and everything in between. Mwah. See you next time.
themoontree.org. Intuitive living for a magical life.